Hello to you all. Welcome back to the channel. We are here to discuss a random theme of Spiritism, the Gospel according to Spiritism. So before our initial prayer, I will select the theme. Inequality of riches. So please, Rosangela, can you make the initial prayer?
Yes. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna read the Gospel according to Spiritism. Inequality of riches. The inequality of riches is one of those problems one tries in vain to solve if one considers only the present life. The first question that presents itself is, why are all humans not equally wealthy? They are not equally wealthy for one very simple reason. They are not equally intelligent, active, and industrious enough to acquire wealth, or moderate and foresightful enough to preserve it. Furthermore, it is mathematically demonstrated fact that if wealth were divided equally, it would give each person a minimal and insufficient portion. That is, such division were carried out, the equilibrium would soon be shattered due to the diversity in character and aptitudes. That if the division were possible and lasting, with each person having only enough to live on, it would be the annihilation of all the great endeavors that contribute to progress and the well-being of humankind. That if it gave each person what is necessary, there would no longer be the stimulus that compels humans to great discoveries and worthwhile enterprises. If God concentrates wealth in certain areas, it is because from there is it it is because from that it expands in sufficient quantities according to the necessities. In accepting this fact, one might ask why God grants wealth to persons who are incapable of making it fruitful for the good of all. This is yet another proof of God's wisdom and goodness. By giving humans free will, God wanted them to reach the point where, through their own experience, they could distinguish between good and evil, and that the practice of the good would be the result of their own efforts and will. Human must not be fatalistically led either to good or evil, or they would be nothing more than passive and irresponsible animal like instruments. Wealth is a means of testing them morally, but since it simultaneously powerful means of inducing progress, God does not wish for it to maintain unproductive for long, and thus move it around incessantly. All persons must possess it at one time or another in order to try their hand at it and to test the use they make of it. However, since it is physically impossible for all to possess it at the same time, and moreover, if all did possess it, no one would work and the improvement of the planet would be compromised. Each individual possess it in turn. The one who does not possess it today has either had it already or will have it in a future life. And the one who possesses it now might not have it tomorrow. There are both the rich and the poor, because since God is just, each must work in turn. Poverty is for some a test of patience and resignation. Wealth is for others a test of charity and self denial. The lamentable use that some persons make of their wealth and the ignoble passions that greed provokes are rightly deplorable, and one might ask if God is really just in giving it to such persons. It is certain that if humans had only one life to live, nothing would justify such a division of earthly wealth. However, if instead of limiting our vision to the present life, we would consider the whole sequence of lives, we would see that everything balances out with justice. Hence, the poor no longer have reason to accuse Providence or to envy the rich, and the rich no longer have any reason to gloat over what they possess. If they abuse it, is not with decrees or sumptuary laws that wrongs will be remedied. Laws can temporarily change the exterior circumstances, but they cannot change one's heart. That is why these laws have a temporary duration and are always followed by a reaction even more unrestrained. The source of the evil resides in selfishness and pride. Abuse of every kind will cease by themselves when humankind rules itself according to the law of charity. Well, we can say about that each of us will have or already had riches because God is just and there is no wrongdoing in God's laws. Sometimes when people just see this one life they are living, they say, why my neighbor has so many things, a nicer car, a nicer house, a beautiful, a more beautiful wife, and this person ungratefully starts to envy his neighbor, saying, counting all the things that he doesn't have. And when we see the reincarnation, the plurality of existence we have, we already have so many existences, and we will have a much more, a lot more. So there is no reason why we should envy our neighbor, our friends, because we live in an imperfect world, a world of expiations. It's not a world in ah, em regeneração. Como é que fala regeneração? It's not a world yet in a regenerative state. It's not a perfect world. So we should expect some injustice, not by God, but the ones we created by ourselves. For an example, if we suffer from lack of money, from lack of health, and all the other things we see missing in our lives, there is not a motive for us to accuse the providence, accuse God, because God knows what He does. And the spirits that surround us, they know what we have failed in all other existence. So we should be grateful. For an example, I have a good life. It's not for a long time. It wasn't the life I like it. I like it to be. I desired for so long much more money, but then I realized that I have a problem with greed. I'm a greedy person. So if I have more money, if I had more money in my life, uh, a few years back, I could have lost my existence. Maybe I wasn't looking for Jesus, for God. I wasn't looking to improve myself over my wrongdoings. So the lack of money that I feel, it's the motive I don't have it, because I am greedy. So it's like when something is on fire, instead of um, putting water to extinguish the fire, you drop alcohol and make the fire stronger. So God knows what He's doing, and we should be grateful for all that we have. And life is so much more than we have. It's about what we are. It's about the challenges that we overcome. It's about the good we do. It's about the wrongdoing that we prevent. It's about when we are confronted by others that we we keep silent because it's better when we don't have anything good to say that we keep our silence. So there is a lot to learn. Being, living as we are now. For an example, if I won the lottery, Mega Sena, oh, Mega Sena, I'm rich, I have millions and millions and millions. Won't be this a distraction? I think yes, will be a very bad distraction because I no longer have to fight to conquer my daily bread. I don't need to work if I don't want to. So this thing that we will see as a good thing, winning the lottery, the Mega Sena, will be for real a very bad thing because would open the door of a lot of temptations. Chico Xavier used to say that temptation it's a ferocious dog, a big dog that are behind us trying to bite us and we want to be catched. It's a it's a very good thought, né? Cão que a tentação é um cão que está atrás de nós correndo e eu quero que ele me pegue. Because I want to do all the things that are bad for me. I want to drink. I want to have sex with a lot of women. Uh, I want to buy all the things that I want with no responsibility. This is this is who I was not not a long time ago. So all the temptations that I see outside of me, uh, money would put me in the line of fire, would put me in the temptation lie, where temptation lie. So the lack of everything we miss is a blessing, and we should thank God for that. We are like children. If your daughter, your son ask you for a gun, for a knife to go to school, would you give him the gun? Of course not. So money, riches in our hands, in our unprepared hands, would be a gun and would be a disaster for our existence. So that's what I have to say about this theme. I'll try to make it's like a prayer. We say vibrações, vibrations. Let me just a moment. So we should be thankful for what we are, for all the circumstances that surround us, for our work, for our difficulties in family, all the things that defy us, that challenge us to be better, to overcome, to improve, to let our wrongdoings aside. This is a true blessing, not with winning the lottery, as a lot of us might think. So, I take this opportunity to thank God, to thank Jesus, to thank all the spirits that surrounds me. Thank you for all the limitations that restrain me for doing a lot of wrong things. And I want to ask Jesus. I want us to ask Jesus to provide for those who are very miserable, moral miserable, that are in depression, that are thinking about suicide. And the others, the spirits that uh, doesn't find their way to the light, that Jesus can embrace them all. Because he said he didn't come for the um, saudáveis, for the healthier. He had come for the poor, for all those that had diseases, that have moral diseases. This is why he has come, to save us all. And we are all ill from our souls. We all are our bad past in our previous existence, that we do so much harm to us and to the others around us. So let's be grateful for this opportunity called reincarnation. Thank you, Lord, for all the things that you gave us, for all the good spirits that are surrounding us, telling us good things, encouraging us to do better. Please, Rosangela, the final prayer.
We thank the good spirits who have come to communicate with us and ask them to help us put into practice the instruction they have given us. We also hope they will ensure that any unfold as at the end of this session is fortified in the practice of good and love for our neighbor. We also wish these lessons may be useful for the suffering, ignorant, or vicious spirits who were able to attend this meeting, and for whom we implore the mercy of God.
Thank you so much, Rosangela, Roseli, Ruben. Thank you, Kardec, for this glorious doctrine of the spirits. And have all a nice evening.
Good
Good
evening.
night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye bye.